With due respect, please, young NUP person, I'm a scholar. You see, I'm not this level of bickering. When I come to this kind of fora, I present my academic prowess. Please, don't boo me, don't heckle me. I'm not the chair of this meeting, but I must protect my indignity that I went to school up to where a degree cannot be given to me again.
You are protected.
So what I was saying, and this can be a thesis for any student, for masters or for PhD, this strict dispensation and multiplicity of administrative unit is not in itself a solution to marginalization. Because marginalization in Tororo is not there. I will use Tororo. If the eaters of Tororo wanted a district because they are marginalized, eaters will have more districts where they can relate to for their cultural aspects, for their political pressure. From Soroti, Kapelebion, Katakuya, Muria, all those districts. Serere, where Aleso comes from. So what we now need to do as a country, as political parties, and following the elder UPC, what is representation all about? What is services near to the people all about? Services near to the people, I differed with my president even in that meeting, is not about creating a district in Kisoko. It's about making sure the money goes to the people and the money must be going to those people. To me, that's what it is. So I represent that. Now, when you come to the second point, broaden support for the groups, I believe concentrate so much on some of those negatives against the party, but I will take them as positives in the next presentations. I'll go first to the paper presented, and I want to thank you, Madam Chairperson, Madam, first of all, for inviting us and giving us a forum where we can interact with, for lack of a better word, foes and the nemesis. We need more of this interaction. For lack of a better word, we need more of these interactions, and maybe we should actually picture better to the public to reduce violence. The moment you portray yourself to the public as I can handle it all, I can do it all, please protest, stop it. You actually mirror what you want the public to do, and the ultimate is that the Machiavelli principle will come in. In the Machiavellian politics and philosophy, there is the state. There is a state. And that state should be accountable to all citizens, irrespective of whether citizens voted you or did not vote you. So the behavior of political leaders in a political party dispensation should be the first thing to be dealt with by EOC and religious bodies, to make them portray themselves as citizens who want to be leaders, to lead both their supporters and those who do not support them. The lack of that within some political parties is actually a precursor to violence. I want to say it very clearly. If you push yourself as a leading political party, we should not obey any law. The person who holds the country at that time must ensure that the citizenry are not affected by your potential violence. And when the person in charge of power protects the other people using other means, the end will justify the means. And I've had to put off 2 meetings so that I attend without disrupting this meeting by moving out and the press follow me and they come in. I'll not do that today, because this is a very important meeting. On page 2, I think page 4 of your presentation, you talk about establishing quotas for ethnic minorities. I think that is what NRM wants, because you find the IC. The IC are just 2,000 people, about 2,000. But they have representation in parliament. But then what the UPC elder said is what actually brings a disequilibrium if you are going to represent all ethnic groups and all other groups in parliament, what is it you are going to do with that parliament? Because like he said, Doctor said, there are 22 ethnic minorities. So first of all, they must have 22 members of parliament. But members of parliament are national leaders. I come from Tororo, where people wanted to create districts along ethnic lines. But ethnic multiplicity in Tororo has come to 78 multiplicities. So you'll destroy that country or that district by dividing it 78 times. So what was my potential position? My position was, let's take on government on affirmative action, which is not district dispensation. Let's take on government to say, we are a big district. Let's take on government on affirmative action, but which is not tied to district dispensation. Take on government on affirmative action, but not necessarily that affirmative action should be equated to creating districts and creating administrative units. Ultimately, the funds you would use to promote citizenry livelihood is again wasted on administrative costs. Tororo City, there's Mulanda district, and there's a district yet to be named where I fall. Where a district yet to be named, where I fall. With due respect please, young NUP person, I'm a scholar. You see, I'm not this level of bickering. When I come to this kind of fora, I present my academic prowess. Please, don't boo me, don't heckle me. I'm not the chair of this meeting, but I must protect my indignity that I went to school up to where a degree cannot be given to me again.
You are protected.
So what I was saying, and this can be a thesis for any student, for masters or for PhD, district dispensation and multiplicity of administrative unit is not in itself a solution to marginalization. Because marginalization in Tororo is not there. I'll use Tororo. If the eaters of Tororo wanted a district because they are marginalized, eaters will have more districts where they can relate to for their cultural aspects, for their political pressure. From Soroti, Kapelebion, Katakuya, Muria, all those districts. Serere, where Aleso comes from. So what we now need to do as a country, as political parties, and following the elder UPC, what is representation all about? What is services near to the people all about? Services near to the people, I differed with my president even in that meeting, is not about creating a district in Kisoko. It's about making sure the money goes to the people and the money must be going to those people. To me, that's what it is. So I represent that. Now, when you come to the second point, broaden support for the groups, I believe being hijacked by people who have been there and want to remain there. In NRM Women League, you'll find Lydia Wanyoto everywhere in this country because he wants to be there permanent. You know, you go to the youth, you'll find some youth who are beyond even the youth age want to remain there. You go to the PW and older persons, the same. So even when we create this as avenue for people who are not able, but what is the internal formation? Why don't we put there a rider that women who have been in parliament for 20 years representing districts should now go to constituencies for others to come up in districts? What is affirmative action within that? That to me is what we should do. Then you go to financial barriers. NRM charges nomination fees at different rates. For anyone who wants to be president is 20 million. Anyone who wants to be a parliamentarian is 3 million. After they have paid this money, the same party gives them money during campaign. Where do we get that money from? Partly from them. I'm a signatory of that account. Last electoral fall, we made 8 billion from expression of interest. I introduced this as the chair of the commission out of my Makerere experience. That you don't just come and pick Makerere admission letter without paying for it. Because you come, Makerere prints the paper, you pick, and you don't even appear again. You don't even come back. Now, I'm lucky that You are more experienced in NRM politics than me. Because me, I was in academia. In some constituencies, you would get 22 people aspiring for one position. Once we introduced a fee, yes, it was unkind, but it narrowed down that competition. I brought it and argued and supported it. So NRM charges 3 million for parliament, but gives them 50 million for member of parliament for a district and 40 for member of parliament for constituency, from 30 to 40. So where do we get that money? If we didn't charge this, NUP would say from consolidated fund. FDC would say you are stealing our money. We are saying we get this money from there. Like now, LOC ones have paid 10,000. Do you know? In one district, we have 421 aspirants for LOC 1 in the whole constituency. 421. And yet the constituencies have 52 villages. There are 421. Each has paid 10,000. Even when we wanted to limit, they think that is the beginning of government. They must be there. So we are doing some of these things mindful of what it is. And then know that I represent a political party here called NRM. I don't represent government because I'm not a prime minister of Uganda. I'm not a vice president. But I can speak to it because NUP is a political party. You cannot go on with chest thumping against a sitting government and you have it all. You cannot. Read the philosophies of Thomas Hobbes, 1588 to 1652. He writes about how the citizenry surrender their sovereign rights to the state once the state has a leader. I'm trying to help you. Because you are young, you can go to school. You cannot list your activities and you say you will not inform police. 3 days ago, that is Friday, I had to go to every police officer called DPC through a letter informing them that NRM has started the following activities in the districts. The Secretary General had to write a letter to all DPCs through the IGP that NRM has started mobilizing for structures. It will be between this up to 30th and election will be on 6th. We have done that. I'm also going to sign more letters today indicating even the officers in every district who are in charge of those elections, called district registrars. We are trying to say, if you find a district registrar doing this, don't think he's doing something contrary. We want to inform the country as the party in power. But you say we shall not write, it's our right. Rights are debatable, and rights cannot be seen in absence of security. NUP. Why is the party representing, why is the army represented in parliament? Read the preamble of the National Constitution. The preamble. Anyone has it? Read the preamble of the National Constitution.
Secretary, I talked about the number.
Listen to me. A country's history determines a country's political sequence. Every country has a history, and that history is always what determines what the political sequence is in that country. You are not Ghana.
You don't live in the past.
You are not Ghana. No, you can't forget history. And you made the constitution. With due respect, we must respect you. The preamble says, we the people of Uganda, having had a lot of this, I think chaos, something of the kind, mindful of that, we now say this. Every country's constitution is benchmarked in the country's history. And you cannot negate history, but you don't live in it. So the 10 representatives in the military are supposed to serve a sequence of 10 years. He asked me, that's how it was introduced. That's why I will go and ask, why are they
Obaka chika kalibadde kalwanirira bwenkanya ekizibu kya Uganda tulina bino bitongole byonna kakati oli mu ggwanga erina akakiiko ak'obwenkanya naye ng'olabira ddala eggwanga lyonna teri bwenkanya n'awamu kakati ensonga ze boogeddeko of course nkulu naffe zitukwatako abakyala okwenyigira mu kulonda abavubuka okwenyigira mu kulonda abantu abaliko obulemu n'ebirala bwe bityo era mulabye NUP ng'essanyu essira kwaba abantu bonna naye kati for example tetusobola kwogera ku bwenkanya ng'ebibiina ebimu nga NUP poliisi n'amagye gasalawo okutufuula abalabe b'eggwanga. Mukimanyi bulungi nnyo nti kaakati batuteekako n'envumbo tetusobola kukola activities, naye olaba buli lunaku bana ba NRM secretariat simanyi bano banamyalo n'abalala bagenda mu maaso bo bakola campaign zaabwe bayise ebivulu bakola ki. Tosobola kwogera ku bwenkanya mu mbeera eyo, era kye mbagambye nti tosobola kwogera ku bwenkanya nga ebibiina ebimu bitwalibwa ng'abalabe b'eggwanga. Olunaku lwaki omulabye ekibaddewo nga tuze kulonkinga roadmap yaffe y'abavubuka, akalulu k'abavubuka, ne bajja ne basalawo mu buswavu bo bonna ne basalawo nti NUP tegenda kola activities ezaayo. So ensonga y'okwogera ku bwenkanya nungi, naye okusingira ddala twalibadde tukiteeka mu bikolwa. Ffenna bw'oboogera ku equal opportunities, ebibiina byonna bikirizibwe ku campaigninga, buli omu akirizibwe okutuuka eri abalonzi, okutuuka eri bannansi basalewo bwe baagala. Naye kaakati bw'obeera awo ba Museveni balaba balisemba buli leero, enkya bali Mbale, olunaku olulala baliwa bayisa ebivulu bakola ki? Of course bagula abantu ne basomba baase z'abantu ne bajja ne bayisa ebivulu ne bakola ki? Naye ffe NUP ne batugamba nti tulowooza nti mugenda kubeera violent, simanyi tulowooza mugenda kukola ki? So ebyo byonna tubivumirira bikolwa bya butiitiizi, naye okusingira ddala tebiraga bwenkanya bonna mu ggwanga lyaffe. Of course kyanaku nawulira aba NRM sente ze balinyisa, naye ne sente zenyini Electoral Commission zesaba abantu okwesimbawo nyingi nnyo, era tuzivumirira. Tosobola kugamba omuntu avudde mu university n'omusaba miliyoni 3 okwesimba kuba MP. Kikyoba otegeeza oyagala azigyewa? Gavumenti ya Museveni eremeddwa okuteekawo emirimu tegiriko. Kakati n'olemesa bano abantu ne mu wanika waggulu sente z'okwesimbawo. Kakati aba NRM bwe bagamba nti okwesimba mu primary zaabwe oyetaga miliyoni 3 oluvannyuma ate osasuleza Electoral Commission miliyoni endala 3, obwo bubbi bwereere. So fenga NUP ne bwe tuba bakuteekako muwendo tetusobola kuteekawo sente zonna, naye nga bwe mukimanyi ebbanga lyonna tubadde tetukyajinga bantu sente, naye nga bwe ngambye NEC yaffe egenda kutuula esalewo ku nsonga eyo. Naye ekyo nakyo kiba kya bwenkanya, kubanga muba mulinga abagamba nti abagaga bokka be balina okwetaba mu kulonda, oba bano ba incumbent. Kyova olaba kati ba incumbent bo baba bakyagala kubanga kibanguyira. Naye opportunities, bwe tuba twogera ku opportunities, kiba kirungi naddala abavubuka okubeera n'omukisa okuvaayo ne beesimba nga tebasabiddwa sente ezo zonna. Genda mu voter education, naye n'obabuuza ani gwe basomesa nga tomulaba, kubanga abantu bannayuganda baali badde bategeera. Kyova olaba ebintu bingi nnyo bibayitako, era ng'omu bwayogedde awo mu kalulu akaggwa mwalaba nti mu districts ezimu abantu babagambanga nti mulonde MP eka aka president kawedde already. Ekyo kyali badde kivaawo singa voter education ebeerawo. Naye n'ekirala kyenjogeddeko, obuzibu bwa Uganda si mateeka wabula impunity bwanantagambwako bwe buleese obuzibu. Ne bw'okyusa amateeka n'okola ki obwanantagambwako bwe buba bukyaliwo, ebizibu byonna bitulaba bijagenda mu maaso. The hiking of nomination fees, you saw NRM charging people who want to run for MP under their party 3 million shillings, and then 3 million shillings the Electoral Commission they charge that money. How do you expect the young people to participate in these electoral processes? You know, you imagine a young person who has either finished senior 6 or university and wants to go and represent the people, and you're charging them 3 million shillings to participate in party primaries, and after that to pay 3 million shillings to be able to participate in the national election. That's wrong. As NUP, we've not been charging any money for people to participate in these processes. It's a decision of NEC. If NEC ever decides, we're going to see it soon, if NEC decides that we should charge some money, it can definitely not be up to that kind of money, because it is wrong. It favors the incumbents, it favors the rich, and yet under the Constitution of Uganda, it says that people should not be discriminated against on account of their socio-economic status. That is discrimination. If you're charging a person 3 million shillings, you can imagine all these young people want to represent people. So are you saying that only the rich should be participating, should be able to lead people? That is wrong, and we condemn it.
Education.
According to several studies, the average amount of money a graduate earns in Uganda is between 400,000 and 600,000 shillings. So you are charging someone 3 million shillings, which is 6 times the amount of money a person earns per month. If a person is earning 600,000 shillings. So that is very, very wrong, absolutely. Because, like we said, you want to encourage young people and all these other people. They may not even be young, but the unemployment levels are high, even among those who are not young. So the money they charge the Electoral Commission is wrong, and we condemn it. See the Electoral Commission in their budget, they spend a lot of money on voter education, but you don't see the voter education they do. And that is why, and it is always deliberate. We think it is deliberate. The regime wants to keep people ignorant. Because if people know their rights, they will not be pushed around. So that is a challenge. The issue of voter education is always deliberate. The regime does not want people to know their rights. That is why the Constitution, for example, says that the Constitution of Uganda should be translated in different languages. They have not done that because they want people to keep ignorant. That is why in the last election, for example, you went to places like Kazo, Karamoja, and other places, people are being told that for the president, we have already voted for you, but you can only vote for an MP. And some people who are elite, they'll be able to push back. So we think it is deliberate, always deliberate for the regime to keep people